Okay, so that's just a very, very mathy definition of what a trig ratio is. Okay, here is these three trig ratios we're going to use. You're going to hear these three words a lot over the next week or so. Everyone say sine.
Sine.
Say cosine. And say tangent.
Tangent.
Okay, look at your calculator now. And I want you to find the sine, cosine, and tangent buttons on your calculator. They're in a row, kind of in the middle-ish. They should look kind of like this. I know my calculator is different, but sine, cosine, and tangent, yes. So go ahead and just push one. I don't know. Someone decided that that's what to call it. I don't know why. So if you push it, it opens up a parenthesis, and everyone go ahead and put a 1 with it. It really doesn't matter though. And hit enter. Does it give you a number?
0.745.
Okay, did everyone enter the same thing I did? Okay, did everyone get this result?
Yeah.
I need to know if not, because in your settings in your calculator are wrong. You're good?
I got 0.9998.
Did you enter a sign of 1? Try and make sure it looks just like mine. And then tell me if it's different. Okay, we good? Okay, so at any point you're getting a different answer, let me know. This means your calculator is in a different setting. Oh, no. All right. So go ahead and set that to the side. Okay, here we go. What I want you to do is we're going to start this picture. Put an arc at angle A. That is going to be our, we'll call it a reference angle. I probably really won't say that again, but that's just where we're starting, okay? So from there, let's start by labeling where our hypotenuse is at. Which side is our hypotenuse?
A to B.
Okay, actually, let's put some lowercase letters. Call this C, A, and B. Okay, so I just named them from the large letter and went across and used lowercase. Okay, so C is our hypotenuse. Okay, we should know that by now, where the hypotenuse is. That has stayed the same this whole unit. Okay, now here's where we get two different labels. And what I want you to do is put your pencil on your arc and draw an arrow across from that arc. That side is what we're going to call opposite, because it is opposite across from that angle. Questions about that? Okay, so when we are labeling our triangles, we always go in this order. Always start with hypotenuse and then label opposite. The last one is funky and always confuses people, which is why I always have people do it last. So our third side is adjacent. Just do that one last. Okay? That one is a little more tricky to explain. So we've always got hypotenuse, opposite, and adjacent. Okay, so here's where these trig ratios start to use those three sides. So the sine ratio, this is what I want you to write down. So SIN, parenthesis, and then what goes in the parenthesis is the angle. So since we put our arc on A, we're going to put an A right there and close our parenthesis. Okay, and then equals, and then we're going to write a fraction. Okay, we're going to come back to that, but let's jump down to cosine. So same thing here, COS, parenthesis, A, close parenthesis, equals a fraction. Okay, and then do that one more time for tangent. Same thing. Questions? Okay, so this is going to be how we set up our equations. Okay, this format. So then what goes in the fractions is a combination of these three sides. So sine is always opposite on top and hypotenuse on the bottom. Okay, this is a rule. This is like what we always follow if we're going to use sine. Okay, cosine is different. So cosine is going to be adjacent on top. And hypotenuse on the bottom. Okay? And then the last one, tangent, is, if you notice, we've used hypotenuse twice, but we've only used opposite once and adjacent once. So any guesses what the last one's going to be? Yep, so opposite's going to go on top, and adjacent will go on the bottom. Okay, questions about that? Okay, so like these are rules. Like everyone in the math world, engineers, NASA scientists use these formulas when they're using trigonometry. Okay? So let's just shorthand this a little bit. So we're going to have sine A, and then instead of writing the words out, let's just plug in the letters that we have. So opposite is A, and hypotenuse is C. So we're going to write a fraction, A over C. Okay, do you guys see where I got A and C from? Why I chose those two letters? Okay, so jump down to cosine. So cosine of A. Okay, so what two letters will we use for cosine?
B over C.
Yeah. Okay, and then tangent uses the opposite and adjacent set. So you just look at your picture and plug in the corresponding letters. A over B. So eventually we're going to have numbers there. Okay, like we're going to plug in numbers where those letters are at. Okay? All right, here is the memory trick. Here's how you memorize this whole mess. Okay, these three, what do I want to say? Not words, but, sorry, my brain is just not working right now. But here's your memory trick. So everyone repeat after me. So, ka, toa. So, ka, toa. So, ka, toa. Okay, so sine, cosine, tangent. So everyone see where those letters are coming from? So what is so telling us? So S is for sine. And then what's the O and H for? Exactly. Yeah, if you look back up here, sine was opposite over hypotenuse. So that's why there's an O and an H. So okay, so that's so. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse. And then the second one, ka. A over H. And what does A and H mean? Okay. So we got so, ka. So I'm really just shorthanding what we had up here, guys. And then toa. So tangent is O over A. So opposite over adjacent. Okay, so ka, toa. So like when you start an assignment or something, you can just write that at the top of your paper, and then you've got it, like all this information there. Okay, so here's what this actually looks like when we're doing problems. Here we go. Okay, so we've got this triangle with 3 side lengths, 8, 17, 15. We are going to write the 3 trig ratios, sine, cosine, tangent, we're going to start with angle P. So here's what I want. Put an arc on angle P, just like I did. Okay, now go label your hypotenuse. Which one of those sides is the hypotenuse? Okay, always start there. Hypotenuse, longest side. Okay, now put your pencil on your arc and draw an arrow across from it. That's where your opposite is. Okay, am I going slow enough? Okay, and then where is adjacent? Whatever is left. So the 8 is our adjacent length. Okay, so now we're going to use those 3 numbers and plug those into our 3 fractions. So this is what it will look like. So sine, S-I-N, of P. How did I know to put P there? Right, like that's what the question is asking, to use angle P. So that's why I'm plugging in P. And then sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So 15, yep. So 15 over 17. Okay, and then you move on. You go do cosine. So cosine of P. And just read the rule. So cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So go find those 2 numbers on your picture. So 8 over 17. And then tan of P. Opposite over adjacent. So 15 would be on top, 8 would be on the bottom. Okay, what questions do you guys have? You good on that one? Okay, now go ahead and either erase or cross out your labels, except the hypotenuse label, because we're going to repeat that process now for angle S. So that means I now need to put my arc on S, which is going to change my labels. So now, when I draw my arrow across from S, the 8 is opposite, and the 15 is adjacent. Okay, so this is going to look the same, but now we're doing S. So sine of S is equal to a fraction. Okay, anyone got it? Anyone want to give it a shot? Okay, anyone agree? Yeah, so 8 over 17. Okay, cosine of S. So cosine adjacent goes on top, which is our 15, and hypotenuse goes on the bottom, which is our 17. So 15 over 17. And then lastly, tangent of S, opposite over adjacent. So 8 over 15. Yep. All right, anyone notice any relationships between the 6 fractions there? Any similarities between the numbers? What's up? What do you got? Except for tangent. Well, yeah, for sine and cosine. Yep. Other things? Okay. If you look at the tangent results, the numbers just flip-flop. That happens every time. Yep. I'm looking for one more relationship. Okay, ignoring the tangent. What do you guys notice about the sine and cosine answers?